All right, hello. My name's Jason. I use he/him pronouns. We are here to play Against the Dark Conspiracy by Alan Rees, and this is session 3 of 4. We are playing. Our conspiracy is versus the demons. This game is part of the Gauntlet online gaming community. You can check us out online at gauntlet-rpg.com. We can go on YouTube, the Gauntlet RPG, and you can find dozens and scores of games with hundreds of sessions people have played over the last few years. And see, if you like what we do, check us out, maybe join, or just come play with us. You can play for free. Let us go around the table, have everybody else introduce themselves with their pronouns and their character. We'll save David for last, or not David, Daniel for last, because he's joining us today. We'll have everybody else introduce themselves and their characters, and just tell us a little bit about what your character's specialty is, and what they've been up to so far, what you recall has been sort of their story so far. Let's start. I think today when we go around the table, I think I'm going to pick on Joe first most of the time. So Joe, why don't you get us started? Tell us about yourself and your character.
Good morning, Joe, he/him. I'm playing Marco Ruiz, who is an ex-NSA, burned NSA hacker. What I've been up to, so I've been helping the team through using my dark hacking arts to find out information. And as of right now, I'm deeply embedded in a tech company as a contractor to try to figure out more about what's going on with this latest threat we are investigating. So, welcome,
Okay.
Daniel.
All right, David, tell us about Purity.
Hi, Daniel. My name is David, and I'm also in the States, and I'm playing a character from Soviet Russian area called Purity Burglar, who used to work for a Russian crime organization that had a cell involved with this weird belief that there were angels that walked among us. So he has this sort of faith conviction that we have to save angels from becoming demons. And in point of order, we did save an angel recently from a strange sort of cult tech experiment in our last mission. And so Purity is riding kind of on a high about that, like, hey, I'm right. And is working now to get to infiltrate this building through a different avenue in London. And Purity is young, well intentioned, and probably really interested in getting to know this new team member too.
All right, great. And then one thing I wanted to point out too, Marco, we learned more about your daughter, Sarah. She's on the target list. And Purity, we learned a little bit more about your brother, who's also on the target list. Let's swing around to Alan, and then we'll finish with Daniel. Alan, tell us about Dom.
Hello, my name is Alan. Pronouns are he/him, and I'm playing Dominique, who she, her. Dom used to kill people for Queen and Country as an assassin with MI6. But she discovered, or has come to believe, that some of the people she killed, she was killing for the shadowy conspiracy that we are now confronting. Dom, I think we would describe her as a cold-blooded professional killer who clearly thinks that Purity has walked too far off a very short pier in the sense of balance, because clearly, everything we've seen could be explained rationally if Purity would simply take a moment to think it through. I know it looked like I couldn't kill somebody earlier on, but I winged him is my rationale for that. That it took a silver bullet. Okay, maybe there's something in that, but clearly, you mustn't throw rationality out the window. We begin this, I think, with Dom in a window washing cradle on the side of the Shard, this very tall London skyscraper, humming All Things Bright and Beautiful, because that's what she does when she gets a little stressed. And I'm thinking that from all the way up here, she can see the part of London where her ex-lover, Maisie Thomas, lives. And we, the audience, know that Maisie is also on the conspiracy target list. I suppose the only other thing is that the reason we're at this building is because Dom's former boss at MI6, Sir Peter Faraday, has been spending a lot of time here. We believe he's on site now. And the last time he met with M, he scared the shit out of M, the head of MI6. So there's something going on in these. I think we've christened it Spiritech, an IT app producer.
Yep, great. I forgot, I added a picture of the Shard to our people, places, and things, and good, Alan defined that. I described a building with lots of glass and very striking architecture, and the Shard definitely seems to be a good fit for that description. I did not get a picture of Judi Dench. If you want to add that, Alan, that would be useful for M. Maybe we'll see her in our game. And let's finish with Daniel. Tell us about your character.
Hello.
Kind of work your way from top to bottom, and flesh her out for us.
Okay. Hello. My name is Daniel. I'm from Croatia. Pronouns he, him, and I play Elektra. Pronouns she, her. She's a scientist, basically from Italy. She used to work with. As an analyst for the Italian Carabinieri, which is a branch of the law enforcement in Italy. And she's very serious, and she's in her maybe early 30s. She's very serious and smart, and she's started to get into the supernatural, to explore the supernatural, because she, out of curiosity, she wants to see if there is a science behind the things that cannot be explained by science, and what is behind that. And she feels that she is just hungry for knowledge, and she wants to see if that she can find something behind behind there to help her and help humankind. And she would do maybe not everything, but a lot to get to that knowledge. Other than that, she has a little bit of a love for speedy cars, for fast cars. She's from Italy. She's from Maranello, which is the hometown of Ferrari. So she likes to drive, and her anchor is her husband, Barnaby Brown, who is a professor at Oxford University. He's also a scientist, a professor of biology, and he's maybe 20 years older than her, but they have some sort of platonic relationship, full of respect, but they don't meet too often, but when they do, they really care for each other. And I think that's it.
Okay, great. And I think one of the conceits of the game is that your anchors, you don't see them very often. So your description fits very well with the idea that you try to keep them at arm's distance, because you realize that you're in the deep end now, and anybody gets too close to you is going to be in great danger. Okay. Let us move to discuss safety real quickly. We discussed it more at greater length at the first session, but let me review our basic things. So first of all, the open door. If you need to come or go for any reason, feel free to do so. You don't need any excuses. If you can let us know when or if you're going to be returning, that would be great, but you don't have to. We are using the X card. If anything is objectionable, throw that X on the screen. Even if it's something that you were okay with earlier in today's session or in previous sessions, if today it just hits you the wrong way, that's perfectly fine. As much as you can share what's bothering you, will help us to get that out of our game is fine, but you don't have to let us know anything really. And then we're using lines and veils. We've got a fair few things. Daniel, if you want to look through here and add anything, I'll be sure to go back and review it later to see if anything's been changed. But right now we have lines on sexual assault and violence, homophobia, racism and sexism, infection, plague as a major plot point, peril to pregnant women and infants, vampires and vampire lore, fae and dark fae lore. And then we have veil on harm to children, consensual sex, torture by PCs, and we are interested in demons and demonic lore, horror and gore, verbal or physical tension or conflict between PCs, romance with PCs, romance with NPCs, and drug and alcohol use or abuse. All right. Let's get started playing. So I think you guys touched on some of this stuff already, but let's just kind of like set the table of where we left off. We had moved through the sort of investigation part of the operation. We were moved into the operation phase, and we're right at the beginning of the operation. We are set in the Shard, which is 1,000 feet tall building. I think it's the tallest building in London, in central London. It's along the Thames and near London Bridge, right? And it's about 80 floors. And Spiritech is this relatively new startup, social media startup, last few years that has several floors. I'm thinking about like floors 50, 60, somewhere in there. And you had gotten a lead from Prague. You had captured this hacker named Psycho, a smallish man with bright green hair. And you had interrogated him, and he had told you that his contact up the ladder was this Sir Peter Faraday. He's somehow involved in the conspiracy, and he's the next guy up the ladder. So you had moved to London, and it so happened, as Alan mentioned, that Sir Peter Faraday was Dom's former handler in MI6. And apparently Sir Peter Faraday has been very involved in this Spiritech company, going there quite often. And the three other characters had sort of done some investigation, and as we began, Dom is in the cradle of has a sort of like a worker's jumpsuit on the cradle outside the building, high up somewhere, and pretending to be a window washer. And David Purity was just going to come in the front door, I think, and just sort of work their way up. And Marco had infiltrated in as an IT professional named Ted. And then, as I mentioned, Daniel, as we go around, I think as we get into the operation, we'll give each of the others a chance to do something, and hopefully that'll give you enough of the flavor and the feel of the operation, and then you can jump in wherever you want, okay? And we can help you if you need it, but we'll have you go last. Any questions about the setup, where we're at? Okay, and if you go to our character keeper, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th tab over is called Operation 2. That's where we're at. And we've got some notes in there that kind of spell this out. So the objective is to find out what the Spiritech app does. They have a new app. It's a hot new app. I think we learned it is really hot with Gen Z, right? Purity had done some infiltration into the groups of youngsters, the college-age students that were really into this app, and had found out that they profess some interest in demonic worship, but it was all sort of smoke. Very few of them actually really believed in it. And one of our things that we've established is that the demons really don't like to. They like to be worshipped, and to find out that they're not truly being worshipped is a deterrent. It will give them pause.
Yeah. So the demons are tracking their followers on their social media app, and I've been working to record actual followers admitting that they don't really care. They're not true followers, and I've been sending files to Marco to use as a weapon of mass disruption later on against this demon.
Right. And one of their leaders you established was Allie Crawley, the great granddaughter of Aleister Crawley. Okay. So let's get started then. So let's start with, I get the feeling that we're doing this in the daytime during office hours. And we see Purity walking into the ground floor. There's a large reception area. There's all kinds of people milling about, talking with each other, looking at their phones, drinking coffee. There's a big reception desk. There's a bank of elevators. And you can see that there's security professionals in front of them. I mean, like guys in like jackets, like rent-a-cop level security, not the real hardcore tactical specialists that we saw were following Peter Faraday. And they're standing in front of these elevators, and as people go into the elevators, they're checking their badges, their badges on their lanyards. And I think you had established that you don't have one. You're just kind of like bluffing your way in at this point. Maybe you see that at the reception desk, someone is getting like a visitor's badge. If you're looking for a way up, that's a possible route. But you tell me, how are you going to get from here up into the Spiritech labs on the, let's say, the 60th floor?
So yeah, I feel like I was going to try to get in with like pose as like an intern or something, like bluff my way into close enough, and possibly use my burglary skills to get a more authentic badger access along the way. But I was going to use my young innocence in a way to try to at least get through the front door area.
Okay. I can see you can talk. You try talking your way through, or if you want, I think burglary, you could maybe grab someone's off, do a pickpocket kind of deal.
Yeah.
If you want, I mean, what do you think? What approaches works best for you here?
I think let's start with persuasion.
Okay.
And that's how I think I'm kind of starting this, to kind of use what I've been learning from infiltrating these groups as like the language of how they might understand people who work here or who love this company.
Now, let me make it clear, though, that this is a huge building, and there's lots and lots of different companies that are in this building. So in this reception area, I think we will say conveniently, you do see someone with a Spiritech, badge, but most of the people are working for all kinds of different companies.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, then I think what I'll do, I may change my tactic to be like, hey, Franz, hey, that was a really great mixer we went to the other night. And then potentially steal Franz's credentials.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the dice. We'll see how this works out.
Okay.
All right. So the dice room is through Lines and Veils. There's a link there called Dice. It says Dice Roller. Go to Roll With Me, and you'll see a matrix of dice, and you build up a dice pool. So you always get the gray die in the middle, and then you can get the expertise die if you've triggered one of your expertise. And I think we'll let larceny fit here, or persuasion, either one. I think you got expertise, so go ahead and click that one.
Okay.
And then purity, do you wish to use your stress die?
Always.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Roll those 3 dice. And we only care about the highest die.
I got
And
ties on the 5.
right.
In the gray
And
stress.
if your highest die is equal to if your highest die is the stress die, or if your stress die is equal to or higher than any of the other dice, then your stress goes up by 1.
Awesome. Okay.
And on a 5, this is yes, what would this be? Would this be maintaining your cover? I think it would probably be do something else. So for do something else, on a 4 or 5, you succeed with no obvious complication or benefit. So I think you get Franz's, you chit chat with Franz, and he looks at you curiously, and he says, "Oh, hi. Do I know you?"
Yeah, we went to that mixer recently. I heard you had some really interesting, like, if it says like his department, like business or IT or something, I'll throw in something relevant to that department. Like, it was really
Right.
insightful to hear you speak on the efficacy of electromagnetism in high speed algorithms. Like, I can't wait to read the white paper that you promised to send me.
He says, "Oh, well, thanks." He looks you up and down briefly, and he goes, "It seems like I would remember you." And he kind of smiles. He's sort of like
I'm like touched his arm and everything. Like, oh well, you were drinking a little bit, So
oh, yeah, that does sound like me.
Yeah.
And someone else comes along and he says, "Hey, Franz," and he turns, and you take that opportunity, to grab his badge.
to take his thing.
He was about to put it over his neck or whatever, and you grab it, and you slip away. And I presume you're going to jump on one of these elevators, right?
Yep.
Head on up, hit that 60 button, and head up high.
I gotta go find Marco.
I think it's got to be these elevators, that are outside of the buildings, and it's glass, so you can see the city all,
Yeah, we're really hoping you utilize the sides of this building for some escape.
Right. And just to throw in also, Daniel's character has vehicles. So Daniel, when you feel it's an appropriate time, you can automatically get a vehicle. You can just establish, that you have whatever, a racing car, a speedboat, aircraft carrier, sure. Okay, so you're on your way up. You did gain some stress though. So what is it we see that shows that you're getting stressed? What is the sign the camera picks up that Purity is stressing?
Okay, here's one. Like, I feel like Purity realizes that if they hadn't gone the way that they went through that sort of cult group, that they probably would have ended up working in some corporate machine like this. And so they're just kind of like feeling like the stress, like this would have been my other life, to be this sort of drone in the economic machine of Europe.
Okay, great. And we'll switch to Marco. So Marco, I see you're in a meeting. There's about half a dozen, or let's say a dozen other IT professionals sitting in this meeting, being led by some, middle manager. And they've got sort of a PowerPoint presentation, and you see there's a slide that shows, this exponential growth in the number of users, the number of hits, the hours using the app since the as they say, the secret sauce was added to the app. It's going through the roof, and everyone politely claps, and they're very happy to see this. And you had just seen Sir Peter Faraday and Psycho walk through this sort of cubicle area, and they had gone back into the restricted area, where the real work has been done. And you had made a really good role to establish yourself here in Spirit Tech. And I think we established then that you have access back there. You have a special badge that allows you to get back in there. You've done some work back in the actual control area. And I will tell you then also you've seen some of these special, you guys call them the special sauce techs, these older maybe about 4 or 5 of them, these older folks that have heavy Russian accents that have been working back in the restricted area. What do you want to do?
Well, this just seems like what I do every single day, sitting in a meeting full of IT people. I should be able to do this quite well. um, so I'm in the meeting, right? And I think I was thinking about this with his access to the restricted area. I was thinking that this is fairly, excuse me, fairly new that he's gotten this access, and because he's with that role, I think we kind of indicated that he'd proven himself quite adept at the work that he was doing. And so I mean, how much do I know about, because what I was going to try to do is I want to learn more about what the actual secret sauce is. And so I was thinking either like, hey, I'm, kind of ask some more questions in the meeting, because hey, I've just been added to the they've just added me into the group. Try to kind of probe a little bit to get some more information about that.
Okay.
So I could kind of figure out what I think ultimately I'm trying to understand how it works so that I can figure out a way to stop it.
Sure. Let me tell you, that these other people in the meeting do not have that special access. So you certainly could. They might be limited in what they know, though.
Okay. Well, I guess, okay, let me change tactics then. I think as the meeting is breaking up, I'm going to go and go into the restricted area, and take my laptop in and just kind of, I'd like to try to investigate around a little bit and see,
Sure.
Find a place to maybe to set down and try to get into the systems that maybe were, now that I'm in that room, I can physically get into stuff that would have been restricted, air gapped or something from that. So.
Okay. You go, you walk over and you swipe your badge, and there's a beep, and this heavy door slides open, and you see that there is a man in tactical gear, fatigues and body armor, with a compact submachine gun, strapped to his chest. He's standing there. He turns. He gives you a discerning look up and down, and he says, "No access right now."
I'm like, hey, I get it, but I need to check out some of this equipment. They wanted me to make sure everything was working. I'm gonna try to. Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be very good at that. I was like, try to bluff my way in there to say I've got work I need to do. Fine, you can tell the boss that the delays are going to continue until we get this addressed.
Hey Marco,
Okay.
Do you also have some technobabble thing you could throw at him?
Oh God, I hate technobabble.
It's fine if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say some stuff about tachyon beams and whatnot,
Yeah.
and you have the badge. I think that certainly qualifies. You've earned the disguise, so I think your disguise definitely would fit here.
Okay.
You flash your badge. You throw some technobabble to make it look. You look right. You sound right. You've got the right stuff. Let's see if he buys it. So you've got the gray die. You've got the orange die. Do you wish to use the stress die?
I also say, of course, to that.
Of course. Let's go ahead and roll it up.
If this session doesn't end with some additional ones of us outside the walls of this building on that thing, I'm going to be disappointed. So I'm going to push it nonstop here. All right.
All right, that's a good roll. You got a 5 on the expertise die. So you maintain your cover. Let me check that. See, it's probably just regular success. Maintain your cover on a 4 or 5. Your cover holds, or they don't find you. So he grunts and he said he thumbs and he says, "All right, fine, get back there. Stay out of the control room, though." Let's flip from there. Let's check in with Dom. Dom, what do we see and what are you up to?
I think that we see Dom speaking to Marco on comms. Marco, can you give me a feel for which face of the building I need to be on and which floor? What's my nearest point of entry to where you are now?
I think maybe we go back to Marco then for an investigate roll. Does that sound about right? So we see Marco, you're moving around. I think in the past, probably there was like you were originally, like before you heard from Dom, you were looking for somewhere to like hook in. And there was a little like workspace, a room that was sort of off to the side, a small room that you had used in the past. So maybe we see you there. And now Dom is saying, I need more information. Do you want to get up and kind of wander the hallways and try to get that information?
Yeah, because I would imagine that the restricted area would be central to the building. Server rooms and such not generally are, but that through the course of working here, that maybe there's some little used conference rooms or things like that that are along the outside, maybe that we could or maybe I'm thinking cinematically, maybe this is where, I get up and I go to the room so that I can almost like, let her know where, kind of run cover so she could get into the building through that entrance. I don't think I've not been in a lot of skyscrapers. I'm pretty sure you can't open the windows of skyscrapers at the 60th floor. I'm pretty sure, but
and knowing Dom as you do, you really don't want to be at a window.
So,
I would also say it's perfectly viable that we could take your initial interest in hooking in. You could hack into the cameras and then just get that information through
that's a good idea.
Digital means.
Yeah, I'll do the investigating and try to get her a spot to enter where she could at least infiltrate and get in. So.
Okay, so let's go ahead and roll that then. So we're going to do investigate. You get the gray die. You get expertise through digital intrusion. Do you wish to include your stress die?
Sure.
Roll it up. All right, that's another good roll. So on investigate with a 5, you get the minimum, and you can also ask a question. So I'll say the minimum is that with accessing the cameras, you see that there's an external camera that shows one of the sides of the building, and there's sort of a despite what we said about there not being windows, getting out in the open on a building, there actually is a sort of a landing on one of the sides, and there's like a heavy security door there that gives access to this sort of porch on one of the sides. And you play back a camera and you see that Sir Peter Faraday was standing out on this porch just a few minutes ago and walked back inside. So that's the basic information. And you have a question.
Question.
And if you're stumped, you can open it up to the table. And if anyone else has any cool ideas.
I'll open that up because from a question perspective, I'm a little. If it was, so let me ask. Let me ask this and tell me if I'm out of bounds with this or whatever. Can I also Can I also see into the control room from a camera perspective?
Yeah.
Unless somebody else has something that they think would be a good additional question.
Right. Yeah, let's go with that then. A camera. let's see. I don't think you've ever been in here, so this is very interesting to you too. And you see that there's a wide room with a lot of workstations. And I see all kinds of screens, the usual like worker screens, but also like screens lining, at like head level all around the room. And they're all showing all the different stuff that's available to the app. And I'm imagining this is it's sort of like a TikTok, so it's got all kinds of short, viral, aim to be viral videos, like dogs on skateboards and kids recreating pop song videos and, that kind of stuff. Um, and it's dark and you don't see any people in here right now. And the camera can't quite make it out, but the audio of the camera is picking up some sort of like grunts and like painful cries coming from off to one of the sides.
Okay.
Okay. So you pass that on all to Dom.
Yeah.
Dom, what do you want to do with this?
I think I just want to say over the comms. So look, Marco, I know that that typically, you're not operational. So I just want to avoid what happened in Venezuela that time, remember? And I'd like to seek relief from the horror by revealing some of our history together.
Okay.
So I will.
And Dom is the person you care about least, is that right? Or not Dom, but Marco.
Marco is the person I care about most.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Purity is by a long way the person he's a Fruit Loop. Okay. So I'll reduce my stress from 3 to 2, and I will roll the stress dice to see how this plays out. That's a 5. So 4+, the other operator describes a different version of the event. So let me describe what went wrong in Venezuela. Okay, this was a joint NSA MI6 operation. They were providing technical backup. We were the kind of cutting edge. I think probably taking out some rather unpleasant drug cartel leader, maybe. And Marco found himself in a Jeep, exposed, and kind of panicked, if I'm honest, because field work. Marco's kind of back office in Dom's eyes, and so that's my recollection of events. So the option is for the other operator describes a different version of the event. They say why they are hurt by my description, and they roll for stress. Or they can somehow add their anchor to their recollection, and they get marked as, that would put them as missing.
Missing, yeah. So yeah, Marco, you have an option. You can tell us your alternate memory, or you can add your anchor to this story and have them go from targeted to missing.
I think I'll have an alternate understanding of this, and then I'm gonna, and if it's okay if we don't want to go there with this, but I also had Dom is the character that Marco cares the most about, and so I might expound on some of that history a little bit as to why they're hurt, and we'll be rolling the stress. So I think I remember this a little bit differently. That yes, of course, I was in that Jeep and things were stressed out, but my recollection is that if the MI6 team would have done their job correctly, I would not have been in that situation. And I think anybody who was stuck in a Jeep surrounded by drug cartel, a gang of drug cartel people would be mildly stressed out no matter who they were.
Great.
And I think the reason why he's hurt by this is like when we kind of talked last time that Dom is the person that he cares the most about because they have history, right? They've worked together before, and I think Dom is somebody that when Marco was early in his career, kind of had a crush on, and has always kind of carried a little bit of a, even though he had moved on, gotten married and everything, but that's kind of why that bothers him a bit. So
All right, go ahead and roll stress.
so just the one stress die.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
green stress die. Yep. All right, didn't hurt that bad. Your stress does not go up. Okay, so
Saving my bad rolls for when it matters, apparently.
mhm. So back to Dom on the side of the building. Then you got some intel. You know that there's an access point. You know Faraday was sighted over there.
Then I think that the cradle begins to move across that side of the building and down to be, maybe 2 floors above that platform.
Mhm.
And then Dom will just bide her time for a moment.
Okay. I don't think we'll even roll for that. Let's then come around to Electra. Tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Daniel, where do you want to introduce your character?
Okay, so I think maybe Electra is the one who came last to the show, but she has been called by the others, and she's helping up with the surveillance. So the first you actually see of Electra is some kind of a drone with a camera flying around the shard, and you hear a voice on the intercom. Hello, friends, Electra here. I'm a little late, but if you need anything, I'm on the roof of a building nearby, and if you need some info about the movement inside the building, inside the Spirit Tech quarters, just let me know and I'll give you a heads up. Okay, I'm here, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. Good luck.
Would it be okay if I put you on the roof of the shard just to kind of get you more right into the heat, from the start?
Yeah, definitely.
So we see you. You're 1,000 feet up. It's super windy. You've got your little headset and your little control panel or your control joysticks or whatnot. Great, that drone is swinging around. Let me introduce the idea of load for you.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
So down in the bottom, row 32 and 33, it says load and gear. And how this works is before you enter into the operation, you get a choice of whether you want to be lightly loaded, medium loaded, or heavily loaded. And depending on your choice, you get so many boxes of gear. As you are more heavily loaded, it's more likely that you're going to be spotted and immediately, focused on the enemy, or the enemy will focus on you. If you're walking around in heavy gear, they're going to be like, let's get them. Lightly gear, you can kind of slip around, and medium is going to be a little trickier. You don't have to declare the gear until you use it. So you just declared a drone. So you would go down to one of those boxes below, and the little arrow will give you a list of gear, and you should be able to find drone and controller.
Yeah.
Is it 2 boxes for a drone?
Yeah, it's 2 boxes.
Okay, so that tells us you're at least medium loaded. Do you want to be medium load or heavy load, do you think?
So if how many boxes can I fill if I'm medium loaded? It's
you would get the 3 for light and 2 more for medium.
Okay. So yeah, so I think I'll take medium because I wasn't planning on going inside the building, just to be support, but maybe not too heavy if we want to get away, if we want to escape. Yeah.
Sure.
So that means let me just check. I can fill 5 boxes of gear.
That's right, because you see under light, there's when you click light, there's 3 boxes underneath it, and then under medium, there's 2 more boxes. So you can fill all the way up until where it says heavy, where you get that last box you cannot. Okay.
Okay, great.
And then remember too, you can declare at any point a vehicle of some sort just because of your vehicle skill, okay, for free.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what vehicle it's going to be.
Sure. Okay. I think flying your drone around, checking things out, let's call that an investigation. So let's go to the dice. So you would get the gray die automatically. You have vehicle skill, so you can add the orange expertise die. And then do you wish to include your stress die?
Yes, I do. Just as anyone else.
Sure. Roll those 3 dice, and we just care about the highest die.
How do I roll?
Oh, there's a little refresh button down at the bottom. It's sort of a pink purple.
Yeah.
Don't hit the garbage bucket, the garbage can though. That'll delete everything. We don't want that.
That's a 5.
That's a good roll. So you got a 5. Your highest die is not your stress die, so your stress does not increase. So we go to the basic moves. It's the 3rd tab. We're doing the very first move called investigate. So we read down and we see that on a 4 to 5, you get the minimum needed to proceed, and control will also answer 1 question. So I think the basic information, let me see. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a new obstacle. So control is allowed 1 obstacle per player. We had already defined that we wanted to see Marco discover the secret sauce behind Spirit Tech. So we know that's one of our obstacles, but I'm going to add another one. I'm going to call it, for lack of a better one, I'm going to call it incoming. Give existing antagonists heavy weapons. Life just got more dangerous. I think your drone, you have it at a very high elevation, but of course it has a very powerful camera, and it picks up. There's a helicopter patrolling around the building, and it's starting to come around. It's approaching the building, and it's gonna swing. You can tell it's gonna swing around, and in the next minute or so, it's gonna spot Dom. Now, Dom is just a window cleaner, so that might not be bad news. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna come around, and you see it has a heavy machine gun, mounted under its nose. This helicopter, and let's say it has the markings of the police of Special Branch. So that's a basic, and then you're allowed 1 question.
And I have seen Dom going to the special door, moving towards the door to get inside.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing I want to do is maybe tell Dom that she's in danger. There's a helicopter coming on your 10 behind the building, and I also want to maybe I don't know if Dom wants to get away from the threat of the helicopter. What would be the easiest way to do so? That would be my question, so that I can maybe guide her to safety if the going gets tough.
I think just staying where she's at and hoping that her disguise holds would probably be viable. I think getting down onto that platform and maybe there's a little bit of an alcove that she could like hide in the shadows or get through that door would work. Maybe even like rappelling down and like somehow getting underneath the platform. All of those would probably be viable.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe my communication to Dom would be to tell her the trajectory of the helicopter, and maybe if you want to wait, the chopper will go around, and you have 2 minutes to get to a better place if you want. So to get her, to give her an advantage, to measure the time that she can take to do whatever she wants to get inside.
Okay. And I think we'll flash back to the cubicle area, sort of the exterior part of Spirit Tech, and the elevator dings and the doors open and Purity walks in, with the lanyard saying that it's Franz. let's take a break. We're about 10, so let's take a break for 5, and we'll come back and we'll continue our operation. See you guys in a couple.
Alan, have your MPs saved Christmas yet?
Christmas continues to be at risk, I understand.
I
Not
was
least by another
out last
lockdown.
night to pick up some gifts at like an outlet mall, and it was just absolutely packed at like 7 o'clock last night, just absolutely packed. And now it was a beautiful day yesterday. It was like 53 degrees. It was sunny, and so and it's one of those outdoor ones that you go from store to store, and so that probably had something to do with it. But I figured people are listening to fear mongering of you're not going to get anything if you don't do it now. So yeah.
So Mark or Joe, I remember, you were saying how you're really enjoying this and you don't want to play, 5e anymore. And then all of a sudden people are offering 5e here on the Gauntlet.
I actually, what's funny though, I did get in on that Slavers series, but I did it because he's using the OSE, rule set, which I think is super. I have it, I've just not played it. And so I probably wouldn't have if it was straight up 5e, but there's something about that particular that's a super blast from the past, that set of modules. And then OSE is literally how I learned how to play the game, right? I mean, BX, EX, and so there is a little bit of nostalgia there. And so I expect it will be run more OSRE versus superheroes in armor, which is the current thing. So
I mean, I'm waiting for the headlines to appear. Gauntlet community manager runs 5e, use at 11.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, there's a Ravnica one that I saw out there, which is straight up 5e one, and I saw that it sparked some conversation.
If anyone can pull it off, Lowell can pull it off.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if he actually uses maps and stuff, because I mean that's where it's going to bog down. But we'll see.
Well, yeah, when you turn it into miniature-based wargaming online, it that's what I was telling somebody. I'm actually at 12, an hour and a half after we're done here. I'm trying to finish this 5e game so we can move to something not that way that I'm running. And that, like the last session, like an hour and a half long combat, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do this. And they're like, half the group is like, we're with you, but can we just finish this first? And I'm like, can we finish it by just not playing it anymore?
Life's too short.
It is, and it's not any fun, right? And I mean, I can see. So it was hard when people were together, right? But then you put people on a call like this, and the checking, you can just see the checking out, right? When it's 20 minutes in between anybody's, and then it's like 45 seconds of stuff that they do, and then another 20 minutes of
yeah. Well, let's get back to it. David will jump in, once he gets here. That's fine. I was going to go back to Dom. So Dom, if anything, what are you going to do to prepare for this helicopter approaching?
It's absolutely just keep on doing what I'm doing and wait until the window I have is as wide as possible.
Okay.
And then I will rappel down the side of the building and blow the door off its hinges.
Okay. So there's going to be a little bit of a cutscene, a little bit of a the camera is going to switch to inside a conference room, and we see Psycho, the green-haired hacker, zip tied to a chair, and we see Sir Peter Faraday walk up to him and say, you're going to tell me everything you know about them. And he takes out a container, and he pours this dust onto Psycho, and it glitters in the camera, in the light, and it falls down on his skin, and it starts to sizzle and burn. It's silver dust that's poured onto Psycho, and he starts to scream, and he starts to spit out all the details he has about the four of you. I'm going to burn a heat point to I forget exactly how it's described. Basically, have the conspiracy discover your mole, and he's been captured and told them about you. And that will give me the fictional positioning to introduce a new obstacle, which is it's a setup. Everything you've learned was fed to you to get you here in the conspiracy's crosshairs. So we see that helicopter come around, the angle of the building, and it picks up speed. And how it has like that machine gun, it's like a Gatling gun. You know how they start to spin before they fire? So it starts to spin, all right? And Dom, I think you picked that up. What do you want to do? You're about to get fired upon by a heavy machine gun.
I would like to, I think it's time. Have I got enough? Yes, I have. I would like to declare a rocket-propelled grenade.
Okay.
Because I declared a sniper rifle last time, which I think means that we should have marked the heavy weapons safe house benefit.
I remember you declared a contact to do it. I remember you chose to use the contact.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd like to declare an RPG now.
Okay.
And yeah, let's do that with stress to call her a contact.
Or you can use the benefit is still open for the safe house if you want to use that.
Yeah, I don't want to close off. Does anybody else have a view? Let me ask that first, because if we want any tech equipment that isn't linked to your specialisms, Aletta and Marco, this could mean that you're having to spend stress on it rather than just having it from the safe house. So
let me tell Daniel a little bit what we're talking about. So if you go to the right side of where your character is, Daniel, you'll see it. There's a bunch of boxes about the safe house. And the safe house, what we're talking specifically about is the last part of it down at the bottom. There's 3 different boxes: heavy weapons, automatic weapons, tech equipment, and explosives. So for free, you can define your safe house as providing you one of those 3 things.
Oh, yeah.
But once you do so, to get the other 2, you have to use a contact, which costs you a stress to establish one of those pieces of equipment. So the question here is, should Dom use the safe house to get her heavy weapon, or should she use her contact? We haven't defined, our safe house hasn't been defined yet, so it's open.
Well, I think, I don't have any plans from this. So if you want to use the same safe house, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I don't think I have any, because I went in with a light load, because I think it would have been difficult for me to get in the building with with anything going, just basic stuff. Yeah,
just go ahead. We'll wing it later.
Okay. So we'll use the safe house. You had a box of RPGs there. And I believe now that you've declared a piece of equipment that uses heavy weapon, we will add the safe house as a target. All right. All right. So Alan, you pull from on the cradle sitting beside you, an RPG, lock and load, and fire, I presume, right? Go for it. You are muted. Okay.
So I am using my. This is. I wobble on this. Is this shoot? In which case I get expertise as well as deadly, or is it just deadly?
I had the same question reading the rules. It's not completely clear to me either. It's because is the expertise called small arms, or is it called?
It is. That's what I was trying to remember.
So I would say I'm open. You tell me. You wrote the rules, but my reading of it would be no. That you would not.
I think we're on the same page. Yeah, it was the small arms description that was escaping me. Okay, so I will just roll those 3 dice. Am I at risk?
You certainly are. I would say 1 just because you're being shot at, and another 1 because they're using heavy weapons. So
Fine.
two risk die.
Okay, rock and roll. Oh, Dom is just having such a bad time.
Okay, so let's see. Your highest die is a 3, which isn't great. and the risk die is equal to or higher than your highest die, so you're also going to face a consequence. So let's go to confront them. Under take them out, 1 to 3, you fail or control may offer you success at a cost, such as running out of ammo or losing your expertise due to a stumble or misfire. But also mark heat due to the attention you attract to the evidence you leave. Is this one, would you have the option of using your specialty here?
Again, I think Assassin is more about killing people than hitting vehicles.
I will leave it to you then. I would be willing to give it to you if you feel otherwise, but I understand that logic.
I might negotiate a hit, but I never get to use the RPG again.
Yeah, I think it's a one-shot. It's certainly a one-shot RPG. Maybe it's a Russian model. Those are easier to get, cheaper. So yeah, we'll say it's a one-shot. So do you want to use your specialty or not, or you don't think it works?
No.
Okay.
No.
So let's say that's your cost, is that you've used up your RPG. And we mark heat.
Oh, I just did.
Okay. And I think that's it. Then you have to roll a consequence.
I do.
So I'm going to say this is probably a named special ops guy flying this helicopter. So you're just going to roll a d6 straight up, no modifier.
Okay, fingers crossed. Oh,
Right,
5.
It's not bad. You were lucky this time. It hurts and you live. All right, so we see the RPG flies out, and I think you just miss. I think you just miss it. It goes whoo off into the sky. Lands somewhere in London. That's probably not great. In fact, before I forget, I'm just going to go ahead and give you an extra heat for that. Fire trucks and police cars start to.
Team, this is Dom. I think we're blown.
So I'm going to give you a heat for that, which moves us into alarmed. I think there's a short, quick cutscene of several more black vehicles, black SUVs driving up to the base of the building. And we see some more heavily armed specialists jump out of these black vehicles and start moving into the building, start going up these elevators, okay?
So can I ask a quick clarifying question? So I'm assuming, because we're all like linked up, I am aware of what the character is aware of, just what happened.
Yes.
Okay. When it's appropriate, I have an activity, something I would like to do. So finish.
Yeah, let's go right to you. Sure.
I think, being kind of popped into the cameras and everything, Marco's like, oh shit. So I would like to try to trigger the building's fire alarm system to give us the cover to get out of here. Because if I am correct, that will stop the elevators from working in most instances. I don't think you can. I don't know. I think it does, but at least it will create mass exodus, and I'm hoping that would provide us some cover to everybody cover to get out. So
do you want to trigger the sprinklers too?
Yeah, whatever.
Everything. Okay.
I want to trigger as much stuff to create as much confusion and panic or whatever in the building to make it very difficult to get us, or to give us cover to be in the middle of all that. So
okay, sounds great. Let's go to the dice then. You've got the hookup, you've got the expertise, the digital intrusion. Do you wish to include your stress die?
Yep. All right.
I think this would probably be do something else.
All right, let's see what happens. A 4.
4, okay, it's not bad. Under do something else, you succeed with no obvious complication or benefit. So I think these like all the regular lights go out. These like the red, like emergency lights flick on in all the hallways. There's those bright white flashing, of emergency, and sprinklers start pouring down everywhere. And like you said, the elevators are shut down. And we start to see, Purity, you start to see all of the IT professionals start to be like freaking and start heading for the stairs. One of them grabs you and he's like, come on, we got to get out of here. Let's go, Franz. What do you want to do?
I'm probably like partially listening, commenting to Marco and the rest of the team. If it makes sense, I'm gonna swap, because it seems like the cover's been blown. I'm gonna change my tag with someone else. So if they're tracking Franz's security in the building, I want to now be like Niles or someone else.
Okay, I'll give that to you. There's so much chaos. I'll give that to you for free. Cool. It's probably just like a tag. Somebody left their tag sitting on their desk.
Sure.
Where do you want to go though in this chaos?
Well, I don't.
So
know
you know everything that Marco knows. So you know that there's that door. That
I don't know if
that door in the back.
Yeah, I don't know if we would flash back to like us planning like what our exit strategy is if this were to go to shit, right? Like where would we head? What would we do? Sort of thing.
Sure.
Is that part of this game?
Yeah, I would say so. Why don't you go ahead and define that, and then
everybody. So I was just thinking like flashback from Forged in the Dark or whatever. So like maybe there is like a service tunnel that is like an area where we can meet up in, or something that heads us to another building but through like an underground tunnel. Gets us off site effectively, but still like close enough if we needed to go back into the building.
Can I, before we go with that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just check in, Jason? I paid success at a cost for that shot. Does that mean that the helicopter is now out of commission?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say you just missed, but you were saying that having just a one-shot RPG would be paying with the cost.
That's what I was pitching at. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's change that then. So that changes a few things. So let me. It takes away.
In which case, I'd like the escape route to involve the outside of the shard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to take away that point that the missile or the rocket didn't miss and splash down in London then.
I mean, I'm very happy for you to add the heat just because a helicopter just blew up.
Yeah, the helicopter just blew up. So yeah, we'll keep that there. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so the RPG hits it.
That will
boom, it does that spinning thing that the helicopters do when they crash. It crashes down and everything else happens. But that's good.
I would like to thank you, Alan, for bringing that. I would like to pose a potential alternative cut where where we all like get to that point where we get to a window exit, and at least I think this would be cool for Purity and Dom, since they kind of don't get along very well, to like basically as Dom is going down, right? Is that where you see this, Ellen? Dom is descending, like Purity then joins on one floor, like just jumps out through a window and just joins you on that cradle as you're descending.
While Electra presumably rappels down to get to the cradle.
Group huddle on the cradle.
Unless Electra has a vehicle stashed somewhere.
I think the roof of the shard, because it's pointy, it's not enough space for a helicopter for another one.
Well, I anticipated that there actually is a flat area. Like the real pointy part is real decorative. It's like 100 feet of that pointiness, but there actually is. If you look at pictures, there actually is sort of a flat.
There is a sort of a flat. Yeah.
So do we ascend to?
So that's a good idea. Then I definitely want to have a chopper up there, especially since this one is the big one, the enemy one, is disabled.
Yeah.
And,
So
shot
do
down.
we
So,
have
yeah.
your helicopter with
Yeah,
you when
definitely.
it's flying by and we jump aboard,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, as soon as there is a message to abort mission, I get in the little
Let
helicopter.
me be clear. I didn't call abort. I said I think we may be blown.
yeah.
Well,
Everybody
yeah.
runs with the exits.
But since
all right,
everything
well,
else is happening, yeah.
Yeah, like
So let's say that's it. There's a helicopter. We see
Yeah.
Electra starting to fire it up. I presumably. And
Yeah.
let's get back to Purity though. So there you are,
Yeah.
Purity.
so
You know,
yeah. So is the plan for us to actually stay on site and to try to still complete the mission, or are we like leaving? What do we say over the comms?
Marco, can you get the secret source?
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
that's key.
So we've created confusion. So the backup forces should be delayed, and I would assume in getting up to us. So yeah, so I'm in there. I'm gonna try to get. So I'd like to do two things. I'd like to try to get, and I'll throw this out to the group because maybe it doesn't make sense to do both of these things. But I want to try to grab whatever data I can about the secret sauce. But I'd also kind of like to inject a nasty virus in here. And if to have access to that virus, I was thinking that I would use a contact potentially to, if need be, or if being a hacker, I just have that either way. And so, grabbing it and then trying to do something to shut it down, or at least break it temporarily. And I don't know. I am kind of mildly interested in trying to get at Psycho. Whether it's to I'm worried about him giving. We already know, like, either it's to, I don't know if it's like altruistic in nature, but maybe more self-preservatory in nature, that like get him out of there, or to kill him so that he stops babbling about us anymore.
I love that. I like the idea of Purity being sent to basically steal an asset. I'm totally cool with that. And we'll just see how it turns out.
Let's go with that then. So let me say that, Marco, you know that you're going to need to get access to that control room to be able to get any further into the data, into the secret sauce. Your connection here just doesn't have, the authority to get at the good stuff. So do we see you start moving towards the control room?
Yeah.
And I think let's have, Purity, you head that way too. You guys have communicated. And as you move to that security door, it opens up, and the Russian scientists are like being hustled out by one of these heavies, and they go rushing by, and you like slink in, as it closes, and we'll have the two of you together, arriving at the control room. Okay, how's that sound? All right, Dom, where do we see you? What are you doing?
I'd like to spend a stress and call a contact, please.
Okay.
Because I want one of those kind of ribbon charges that will blow a door off the hinges, either so they can get out to the cradle or I can get in. And I think I will declare a bomb maker, who for old time's sake is going to be called Fergus.
Fergus. Old IRA, maybe?
He would never talk about it.
No.
But yeah, so I think Fergus has given me the kit to give me the technical, all you have to do, John, is this, and you press that button there. Sorry, that's a horrible thing to accentify Seamus. Fergus, sorry. So I'm hoping you're going to give me expertise for the cost of that stress.
I think you're not even trying to be subtle, so I think I'll just give it to you for free. You just blow that door open.
Okay.
I don't think that needs to be a roll. So you move in and you see a richly appointed office study. I see like lined with like bookcases, an old oak desk, and a file cabinet, a laptop, and there's doors that then lead towards the control room. So this clearly looks like it's Sir Peter Faraday's office that you've moved into. You want to do anything here, or do you want to move towards that control room?
I want to find Faraday.
You don't see him around.
Electra, you might want to power up the chopper.
Yeah, I'm getting ready, but I don't want to be too long in the air for too long. So just when you do your thing, let me know, and I'll pick you up at the ledge.
Okay. Okay, so this is your exit point, your exfiltration point, presumably, right? So yeah, you don't see any sign of Faraday here, though.
Then push on.
Okay. So
Carrying the empty RPG tube in a threatening manner.
Okay. I think for narrative convenience, we'll have the three of you arriving at the control room at the same time. We see the door open, and you see, like I said, on the camera, there's sort of a wide room with lots of workstations, computers, and lots of like screens, lining like head level all around, all flashing different, viral videos, and turning to look at the three of you as you come in, and completely calmly, just turning to look at you as the tall, skinny Sir Peter Faraday, and he says, "Hello, Dominique."
Don't make this difficult, Peter. You know I will, pointing the tube at him. I'd like to use authority to make him believe that I am at serious risk of blowing him to shit.
Yeah, we'll give that a shot. So go ahead and roll with authority. Do you want to include your stress die?
Of course. 6.
Okay.
Quarter some time at least.
So what do you want your extra benefit to be? You're muted.
I want his attention to be on me and that RPG tube, giving Marco a chance to do what he needs to do. And I will mark the stress for that.
Yeah, mark the stress. He does indeed pause, and he looks at you. He with his piercing gaze, he stares at you, and he takes slow steps towards you, but he's ignoring the others. Marco and Purity, whoever is ready, what do you guys want to do? Clearly, Sir Peter Faraday is entranced with Dominique.
Was Psycho visible at all in here?
Yeah, there's like a little conference room to the side, and you see him, like I said, zip tied to a chair. He seems to be mostly unconscious, and his skin is bubbling from that silver dust. It's a horrible stench.
So out of character, Joe, do you want to take the lead on this?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you want to take the lead on this scene? Because it seemed like you had a conflict of what to do with Psycho. I'm here to like get an asset, but I'm following the lead of you and Dom.
Well, so I think my first and foremost, he's going to sit down and plug in and start grabbing the stuff, right? And I think in order of get the data and then try to drop a virus in there. And then maybe I'll tell you, take care of him, and then we can. Get
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep. Purity moves to apprehend Psycho.
Okay. I'm going to introduce my final obstacle for you, Purity. It's called. This doesn't feel right. You have a bad feeling about the obvious way forward. Something bad will happen unless you go around. So there's something about this setup in this conference room. You get a bad vibe.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Is there any way that I can discern it and find a way around it?
Sure. I'm going to do like a quick investigation.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go ahead and roll that up. Let's see. Do you have anything that might help here? Larceny, intrusion, persuasion. I'm not seeing any of those being an expertise here. So right now you got the gray die and the stress die if you want to include it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So I feel like it's more like a hunch than anything that I can clearly identify. All right, so stress, gray, and risk.
No risk die, no.
Okay. All right, let me roll these 2 dice. Yeah, 6.
Okay, your stress does go up, but you get that 6. So I think this is an investigate. You're going to get the basic information, and you can ask 2 questions about this whole scene. Someone is lurking, to the side of the door, just waiting for someone to come through. I'll tell you, that's the basic information.
Okay.
You got 2 other questions.
Is there a list of questions, or is it just open-ended?
It's open-ended.
Okay. Perfect. How?
And it can include this whole room, this whole situation, not just this conference room.
Yeah. What is the? I'm thinking of this from like an operative point of view. What is the best way to engage with or take out from a strategic or tactical level this person who's been hiding in this position? Is there something obvious that I could do?
The wall to this conference room is not very thick.
Okay, so I
bet a bullet could go right through.
Yeah. Okay, so I am at.
There's one more thing. You want to open that up to the table, see if there's anything else anybody else wants to ask?
Is there another question that anyone else has?
I'm curious whether Purity notices anything odd about Sir Peter Faraday or anything else here.
Yeah, like you're
he gets too close to me.
Right. You moved off to the side a little bit, and you kind of glance back quickly, and you can see Sir Peter Faraday's skin on the side of his head sort of started peeling away or like breaking apart, and there's some sort of like carapace or like exoskeleton or something underneath his skin. That's pretty freaky, though. You already took stress, so maybe that helps explain why you gained some stress here.
Yeah. Would Purity have a chance to relay that to the rest of the team?
Oh yeah, we'll assume anything you learn, everybody else knows.
It probably comes out initially in like partially Russian, but like Demon Faraday.
Right.
But I'm definitely gonna take a shot through
the wall. Sure. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and roll that. So this is you'll be able to roll without any risk to you. Okay. So you get all 3 dice if you want to use your stress.
Oh yeah.
Oh, declare a weapon. What kind of weapon do you want to have?
Yeah, let me go back there.
So I think you're lightly loaded.
Yep.
Nope. Are you? Yeah. So you can only declare a weapon with 1 dot.
Okay.
So it's probably a pistol. I think an SMG is 1. Oh, 2 for a compact SMG. So we're looking at probably like a pistol of some sort, a handgun.
Is this considered close range?
It could be, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do a handgun. I was really going undercover. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I don't think I have expertise.
No, everybody has small arms, so everybody knows how to shoot. So yeah, go ahead. So you get that.
All right, and no risk. So 3 dice. Stress 4 was the highest.
All right, your stress goes up again, and you get a simple. I think confront them. A 4/5 is you succeed with no obvious benefit or complication or benefit. So you're going to wing this guy. He's not. You haven't killed him, so you hit him. He jumps out from back there. He's got I think he has like a baton, like a steel baton, and a knife in his hand. A knife in one and a baton in the other. Sure. And he comes at you, and he clearly has like some, intense martial arts skills. Let's say it's a woman. Let's say it's an Asian woman coming at you, in that tactical gear. So you're going to be caught into combat, but you definitely wounded them.
Okay.
Let's check in with Electra up on the roof. The helicopter's fired up.
Yeah.
Anything in particular you'd like to do?
I'm just getting. I mean, I'm ready and waiting. Maybe get a little bit nervous. I wait for the signal. Everyone's signal that they are ready, so that I can just go down and pick him up. But I'm nervous. I'm looking at that door. If someone is coming up from downstairs. I don't know if I should. I'm just waiting. I mean, I wait for now, but I'm not going to fly until I have to.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
Dom will kind of whisper, Electra, we may have to exit at speed.
Okay. Yeah, that's the signal I wanted. That's the message I wanted to hear. Okay, firing it up. Coming down for you.
Right.
And
I see you kind of take off, and it has that sort of. You have to lose a lot of altitude quickly, so it like nose downs and zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. A high G maneuver.
Yeah, I do
right.
a little. I do it with flair, so that I'm showing up my skills.
Of course. I don't think you need to make a roll, though. I think we'll just have you en route. So Dom, you got a warning that something's going weird with Sir Peter Faraday, and it's lucky too because you felt yourself being drawn into those blue eyes.
I'd like to spend one intel to declare Peter Faraday has a fascination with bringing Dom in from the cold, which I'm hoping is going to stop him just killing me outright.
Okay. And I'm also going to say, yeah, absolutely. And I'm also going to, you've also defined some things about Azrael, the Demon Lord. And I'm going to say that Sir Peter Faraday, the demonic servitor, is going to have the similar addiction and the similar deterrent of symbol of disbelief. So I'm going to tell you for free that those will work for him also.
Okay.
Symbol of disbelief and addicted to mortal worship.
So you said that there are TV screens in here, right?
Yes.
So if Marco were to play some of the anti-worshippers in here, would that be effective?
Yeah, probably.
Sweet.
I just need Marco very quickly to get the fucking secret sauce out of this box.
Do you want to try to break the gaze, or you want to just keep looking into those beautiful, beautiful blue eyes? That's to you, Dom.
No, I definitely want to do something else to break that.
Sure. Okay. So I think you turn away, and Faraday lets out a groan of frustration, and he says, "The others, their souls will be ours, but Dom, you've always fascinated me. I've always thought you were a step above. Come join us."
Well, why don't you make the case for that, Peter?
He says, "Eternal life. We could.
Yeah,
we'll bring you back. Bring you back in from the cold. You can bring you. You don't have to run anymore. You can go back to killing people for Queen and country.
I suppose what I'm wondering, because the thing that could get me back in, there's probably still someone sufficiently high in MI6 that I might believe if they offered me a chance to come in from the cold. So I think I need to resist this in some way, because this is kind of what I need. Maybe he's working for the Queen. That's not impossible.
Okay, so yeah, let's do it. So this is Rolling's do something else. Do you have anything that would make you more resistant to this?
I have to say, I think that I was going to say, if it was anybody else, I'd say tradecraft, because I'm trained for this kind of stuff. But this is just pulling on the string that I am vulnerable to. So I don't think that's fair. So I think it's just gray and green.
Okay, let's do it.
That sounds like Graham Greene. Graham Greene. Whew.
Okay, so it's a simple success. And just on these sort of, especially since Daniel's joining us, this game does have sort of like mind control, mesmerism kind of stuff, and we've agreed to use it in our game. But remember, even if he had missed there, he could still use a stress point to break it. You always can maintain your agency by using some of your resources. But what does that look like then, Dom? How do you successfully avoid this temptation?
I want him to think that I am tempted, though. So I want him to say, well, Peter, what would that mean in practice? Keep talking. Monologue, villain, monologue.
He starts saying something about come with me to meet the true master, and he starts something along those lines. So, but that certainly you've given everyone else plenty of time. I think, Marco, this is your moment. Let's see how you're doing with that computer over there. Let's roll digital intrusion. And I think we said, you had that idea of implanting the virus. I think on a 6, I think that would certainly be an added benefit. But certainly you can find out the secret sauce here with a good roll.
Okay.
So I think you got the gray, you got the orange. Do you want to include the green?
Yeah, for sure. And then, like, I kind of imagine that he's pretty engrossed, obviously, in this. So, if Purity has, hollered into the comm to do so, like, I don't think he knows. He's probably not seeing the weird stuff or any of that, right? I mean, he's like under pressure trying to get this done. But I mean, I wonder if instead of the virus, if she says, hey, release that stuff, right? Maybe he would do that instead. Like the put up on the screens. So I think that's what he's gonna try to do.
Well, I'll tell you this. Well, you can establish your basic goal, and then if you get a 6, you can add something else.
Okay.
So do you want your basic goal is to show all of those tapes that Purity gave you, or do you want your goal to get the secret sauce?
The goal is to get the secret sauce.
Okay. All right. Let's go with that, and then if you get a 6, we'll see what else you can throw in.
Okay. All righty.
There's a 6. On the expertise die, you don't have to take stress. There is going to be something scary. Give yourself an intel. I think Alan mentioned somebody should take a. I keep forgetting. I think he rolled. If anybody rolled a 6 earlier and you didn't give yourself an intel, go ahead and do so retroactively. I think I've been forgetting that. So you succeed brilliantly. You get the extra benefit. And do you want the extra benefit to be to introduce the virus, or do you want it to be to throw up all of those videos of people explaining how they really don't believe in the whole demon bullshit?
So I guess I'll put that out to I don't want to meta this, right? And so does that feel realistic to the rest of you guys that like he would hear him say to do that? Or you know what I mean? I don't want to.
Yeah. So I think when Purity experienced the thing with Faraday, like probably also saying, like activate the campaign or whatever the keyword would be to say to publish those videos.
All right. So yeah, so I think that's what I'll choose then. I just want to, call me out. I don't want to meta it, right? And so I just,
it's your choice. Yeah.
So yeah, he'll pop that stuff. So
it is absolutely your choice, because Dom is saying, Marco, virus the fucking thing. Virus the fucking thing now.
Yeah, and Purity's like, show the videos.
Yeah, so okay, Marco, which button do you push?
And Electro is hurry up, whatever you do.
I think so. If that's the case, if I've got given history and everything, I think I'm gonna release the virus.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I just think that with the history and trust that he has, that's what he's gonna do.
Okay, great. So what you see then is you you realize that the app has a deeply embedded carrier. I'm making stuff up because I have no idea how actual real programming happens, but it has a deeply embedded carrier signal that contains massive amounts of data that is being shown through all of these videos, sort of subliminally, and you strip it away. You strip away the surface, and you see what it is, what this carrier signal is, and it's the most horrific, horrible, demonic. All of the deadly sins being shown in the most gruesome, nasty way possible. And all of this, you realize that this app is drawing data, information from the users, digitalizing it, and sending it off somewhere. And first of all, you're exposed. This probably explains the stress, or why you need to roll for stress, having rolled a 6, because you've been exposed now to this horrible, horrible stuff. So go ahead and roll that first.
Okay.
And then your extra benefit, you've introduced this virus that's going to disrupt this process. You're right at the source of the control room. So I'm going to say that it's going to go out all over the world. The app is going to crash, basically, right? And you realize, that you've done a really good thing for a lot of people. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have seen this on Amazon. I can't remember the name of the show, but have you seen that? It's God, I can't remember the name of the show, but where there is a conspiracy where they're like implanting these things in people's like eyes, and then it's kind of a comedy thing where the main character runs around and he's like working for like the mobile carrier, right? They're trying to get this coverage, and like ultimately they're doing that so that they can kill all these people and gain their power. Do you know what show I'm talking about? I don't remember what it's called, but I'll figure it out and send it. That was kind of when you were talking about what this app might be doing.
Mm-hmm.
In that one, they're trying to harvest people's souls for a ritual that will get them like eternal life or something. And I don't know.
Did you have a suggestion, Daniel?
I think that was the British action comedy with I think Samuel Jackson was the bad guy. He was doing this or something like.
Yeah,
something similar.
I'll look it up because it was like a Prime. It was like a Prime show, right? Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
Show,
yeah, so I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah, it was definitely a British comedy kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's get back to where we're at. So the screens all change. I think all of the screens go black, and we're here in the dark. There's the sprinklers are coming down on you guys. Superior Faraday, his skin is starting to slough away. He's still approaching Dom. He's spewing out his villainous monologue. Purity, you're face down with this special ops, martial arts expert. What's the plan now? I think Marco says, I got it.
I think still want to get Psycho if we're able to take with us, even if we have to drag him as like weight.
I think we're in flee for your life country. But can I just check in? Joe, did you mark stress for that stress roll?
I was asking, do I mark stress for that?
I didn't see what you rolled. What
you rolled? A 6?
Yeah, you definitely do.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think mechanically speaking, since you didn't introduce the deterrent, I think you can flee for your life, but you're going to have to get past Sir Peter Faraday. And if you want to get Psycho, you're first going to have to overcome this guard, this special ops lady.
Okay. Let me take a look, because there's something I want to see if I can do. Let's see here. Would I be able to use a stun grenade on this person?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to attempt to do that.
Does it have the explosive tag? Stun grenade?
Stun grenade. Where is it? So it has close area heavy stun.
Okay, so because it has heavy, you're all set because that's what your safe house gives you. So go ahead and add that to your list.
Mhm.
Let's see if you can stun this person. Would a grenade use small arms? Alan, do you have opinion on that?
No, I think small
No?
arms
Okay.
are, small bullets.
Okay, so I think you're going to be rolling the gray die and the green die if you want to add it.
Okay. Am I adding risk here?
Yes, you are. And there's going to be 2 risk die. One because you're being attacked, and one because actually no, there's just 1 risk die. Just 1 risk die.
Okay. Turn it off. There we go. All right. So stress, gray, and 1 risk. Let's go. I got a 6 on my stress die.
All right. So your stress is going to go up,
I'm almost stressed out.
and you gain an intel, and you're going to gain an extra benefit. You're going to knock this person out. Do you want to knock them out for a significant period of time as an extra benefit?
I want to knock them out long enough for us to get away.
Okay. Okay, I think that will happen, and I would say I think Faraday is fixated on Dom, so I think Dom's going to be the only one that needs to actually roll to get out of here. No pressure. The others can just sort of like grab your gear, grab Psycho, and get out of here. Get to the chopper. So Dominique, you are going to do the what's it called? Flee for your life. Do you have anything that would help? I guess Tradecraft is being physically fit, so I think that would fit here.
I think military
Tradecraft.
Fieldcraft is fit. So
that's right. You have
if it's a foot
Tradecraft.
chase, I'm no fitter than the average person.
True.
So I'm just going to roll with basic and the stress dice, and keep my fingers very tightly crossed. Ouch.
Okay.
That is a 3.
3. You're in trouble. Choose to either get caught or agree with control who or what gets left behind before you mark heat and try to flee for your life again.
What if something is left that would give him some power over me? I don't know. Maybe he grabs me by the hair and he gets some of my hair. That feels like something suitably dangerous to have left him with.
How about at the last minute, part of you says, maybe I should join them, and he possesses you. You carry him with you. Or is that
so
too much?
Well, you tell me. That so he knows where I am.
Because he's right in your head with you.
Yeah. I would go for that, and then I mark heat, and then we see, I guess, Marco and Purity jumping into the helicopter,
Right.
while
Psycho.
I have to escape again with Psycho. While I have to escape again. I can't roll 3 again, could I?
I think he's not interested in chasing you anymore. He's got what he wants, right? So I don't think you need to roll again. I'm going to break the rules, but it doesn't make any sense to need to roll again. I don't think. There's really nothing. There's no one really after you anymore. So yeah.
Which is going to worry me later.
Dom's a little bit too cool as she walks out and steps onto the helicopter, right?
This is just Dom, acting tough.
Showing off again.
Whatever.
All right, I think we see the helicopter
stepping off the railing, just stepping across this.
It's only 700 feet. You step across, you jump in the helicopter, and Electra hits it, and you guys fly off into the horizon. I think that's the end of the mission. I don't think you even need to roll. You blew up my helicopter, so there's really no one to chase you. All right, let's do some quick, let's just take a break. This seems like a perfect time to take our next break. We'll take another 5 minutes. We'll come back and get going into setting up for our next one. Okay, see you in 5. And
I love
Alan,
that
I'm sure.
you spent heat to turn to catch them all.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I needed that fictional. I like the idea, and I wanted to use the mechanic, but also I needed that fictional, you know, way, a reason for them to know you're coming, right?
Yeah, I'm not
You
sure
know,
what we can do with poor old Psycho.
mm. I think you say in the rules, like, you know, if you have a prisoner, I don't know if you still. I think if you said if you have them, you can interrogate them again after another operation. So
I mean, my view would be that the fiction has moved past that point.
yeah, you might be
You know,
right. Yeah,
that if he's blown, he doesn't know anything more because
right.
they
Yeah,
wouldn't have told him anything else. So
yeah,
you know, the fiction always counts, I think.
yeah. I think you're right.
So would someone like that be sent to some like prison, or what or are there just theories about what happens to things like that?
What would
You know,
happen? Go ahead.
Dom's view would be we still have some silver chain and the Thames is just around the corner.
You know, and Alan, this being possessed by Faraday, I mean, you can always fight it off. You know, you can always.
Oh
You know,
yeah, no, I know that. I mean,
it-
what I've written down in my notes is there's a portion of Faraday's consciousness in my head, but I won't know that until he pulls the puppet strings.
right. And at that moment, you can be like, "I'm going to resist," and then we'll have a roll, and we'll see where it
Exactly.
goes. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think he's going to be a fairly passive. I mean, you have a. I guess he's not literally a demon, but you have a demonic servitor is, you know, set up in your back of your brain. So what influence that may have, we don't know, but you play with it however you like. But yeah, I will definitely put the screws to you at some point.
There is a power called track. So maybe this allows him to know where I am or something. So, you know, I mean, you know, I think use it however you want to use it,
Yeah,
Jason. I don't mind.
sure. And Daniel, I really wanted to try to get you more into the action, but I couldn't figure out any way to have a helicopter show up in the middle of this building. So
No, yeah, we were talking about helicopters before, so I'm perfectly happy to
Yeah,
be able
sorry,
to have one, and just to get the ropes, I'm okay with, you know, just, you know,
yeah, I wanted to see like
helping the others finish the mission. That's
I wanted to
totally
get a
fine.
helicopter chase, but then Dom blew up my helicopter. So
I was waiting for Faraday to sprout wings. So no, I'd be very keen to hand my question on the next setup to Daniel, so Daniel has more influence on how the next operation shapes up.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
We're all here. Let's get back. So first of all, you guys left a supernatural who wasn't finished. So what I do is I fill up the last alarmed box on the heat because of that. We were talking about, I mean, we were talking a little bit, you know, just now about Psycho, that you have him back as a prisoner or you rescued him, and whether that means another interrogation. But I don't think so. I think he might tell you a little bit about, you know, what they were doing with the Spirit Tech app, but I think you've already learned that. Marco's already kind of figured that out. So I think he's pretty much just somebody that you've saved, which is nice. Mission rewards. You did accomplish your mission. So you, let's see, let me find that in the rules. You accomplished your mission. So everybody can remove one stress, reduce your stress by 1. And because you accomplished your mission, you also get to reduce the heat by 1. But you did not finish a supernatural, so you don't get another heat reduction.
I think the order that's written is that we would reduce 1, but because we've left a supernatural who survived, you then fill up the alarmed.
Okay.
I think that's the order. That was certainly the intention.
Okay. I will do so. So you're right, filled up to alarmed. We haven't moved into capture though, but we're getting close. Um, let's the camera switches to your safe house. The four of you are there. You presumably ditched the helicopter somewhere. I think that the television's on, and there's all the new, all the channels have news about a police helicopter that was shot down outside the Shard, that crashed in a residential district. There's lots of shots of fire trucks putting out fires. Every street in London has been, they've set up roadblocks, to try to capture these alleged terrorists that were behind this. Um, a a noted Knight of the Realm, Superior Faraday, is gone missing. None of your faces show up, luckily, but there's a lot of heat in the city of London right now. And let's go around, and we're in the debriefing section. We're going to do a few things here, and I think you guys can kind of like have some scenes to show this stuff. One thing is to we'll define. If you go down to rows 28 through 31, there's which member of the team do you care most about? Which member of the team do you care least about? Everybody has some boxes left undefined, and we're going to go around. Oh, I think Alan's probably done his two now, but we'll go around and we'll fill in the others. So just, as we move around, you can kind of tell me who it is you care about most about the team and why, or what we see, that shows, why you care about them most or least. We're also going to give you an opportunity to have some scenes showing you reducing your stress, seek relief from the horror. And we're also going to start talking about leads and where your team is going to go next, what our next operation, what direction that's going to be going. I'm going to open up the table, and actually, let's like I said, it looks like Alan has got Marco as his most favored member of the team, and Purity is least favored. Let's move to Marco. Marco, do you want to define who you care least about now? You have some good ideas.
I would if I could. I have to admit I haven't.
Why don't you start thinking about it then? We'll go over to David. David, do you want to define who you care most about? We know you care about Dom the least.
Yeah, because Dom's just a cold-hearted person. So I actually wanted to talk to Daniel a little bit more about Electra to find out more. So could you talk, Daniel, about your, this, why did you choose to confront the conspiracy, curiosity, and the latter part around row 25?
Yeah, I was thinking that Electra is like a hardcore scientist, and she didn't want to accept at first that there is anything supernatural going on in this conspiracy, but then she kind of figured out that actually there is something. So I want to figure out what it is and try to explain it in a scientific way. And this way, I just want to find out as much as there is about it, about who they are, and not just what they're doing, to reveal the conspiracy and beat it, but also to figure it out, to figure the demons and the angels and everyone, just to figure them out, because I'm thinking this can be used with there is a knowledge behind this, there is information, there is a science behind it, and I want to get hold of the science for the sake of humanity in a way.
Sure.
And that's my primary drive, but yeah, probably get mixed up when when we face the actual problems.
So I definitely feel like Purity is very attracted to Electra's approach to these things. Like, it's a very different perspective, very different approach, I should say. But I feel like there's a sort of like familiar, kindred spirit sort of feeling there. So I feel like care most about your character because of that.
Okay, that's
Great.
good. Let's move to Daniel. Electra, who does Electra care most or least about, do you think?
I think I would also want to go with Purity, maybe, because the way I see, and you know, David, tell me, she's like in touch with some kind of religion and stuff, and this is very hard, maybe for Electra to figure out, and also. This sparks, I mean, Purity sparks her curiosity as well, in a similar way that that the other supernatural things do. So maybe that could be a reason, I think, to care about Purity the most.
Yeah, I have a question. Would Electra be the kind of person that would talk deeply, like into the night, about like philosophy and science and religion?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I can see that.
Let me add, Purity.
Okay.
You instinct. You know how you have that instinct about the person behind the door. You know, something told you that there was danger. Every time you look over at Dom, you get that same feeling. You just get this weird feeling about Dom.
Is this just because Dom's been more grating than usual, or something else? So like,
who knows?
So like, I kind of like the idea of like, if we were watching this as a show, like, what is there like a sound or a scent or some sort of thing that comes
I think you mentioned before, like you had like a symbol of faith that you had, and maybe you find yourself just your hand is drawn to it for some reason.
So we see it kind of like going over it. So if I am aware of this, if Purity is aware of this, you know, probably just thinking it's because of the exposure to this, right? You know, exposure to this presence that we are in. Unless there's something that you think I should act on. I think initially, Purity's going to think Dom was just kind of in the miasma of evil.
Yeah.
But that Dom is just Dom and whatever. But I would probably actually, if I got into a conversation with someone, because I am a little bit more forthright about angels these days since the last mission, probably Electra would be the one that would hear about this first. Like, you know, I think it would be really good if Dom like came to church or something, or like had seen one of our talks, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and you had a result. I mean, we just to put this in your ear to think about when we moved to Seeking Relief from the Horror.
Yeah.
You had a result from one of your previous Seek Relief from the Horrors, where you sought solace from the Michelle Pfeiffer angel, and they had made it clear that you needed to like convert your other team members before you could come back to them. So that certainly sounds like you definitely could go in that direction when we get to those Seek Relief from the Horror. That sort of over the top zealotry. So let's go back to Marco, though. So Marco, have you thought about who? Let's see which one.
Yeah. So I think the root of my dislike, and I'm leaning a little towards Electra versus Purity, but so his family. So I think Marco is not as skeptical as Dom is, right? He definitely is like, yeah, this stuff is happening, but his core goal of revenge and how much he hates them, the reason I'm leaning a little towards Electra is her curiosity. Like, I imagine that like we're going over, I'm looking at the information about that we pull down of the stuff, and that she is actually almost respects in a way how cool this, you know, the technology and the blending and the science behind it. And that really turns him off because he just hates these people so much and wants to do nothing but kill and destroy them. And so that really really rubs him the wrong way. I think Purity rubs him the wrong way too, but he's so pleasant to look at that it's hard to hate him that much. So and I sense Purity as being a little more kind of naive in that way, and so I think it'll be Electra, because it just grates him that, like, as we run across things, I sometimes am like, what the hell, you actually respect this stuff they're doing, right? It bugs him that she sees anything of value in the stuff that we're running into.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and put her there. And then Purity, you had Electra as the one you cared most about. Is that right? If so, go ahead and put Electra in that box. And I think if that's true, then that just leaves us one last one. Electra, who do you care least about?
I think, yeah, if that's okay with you, Joe, I think that would be Marco, because the same thing, to reciprocate, Electra feels that since Marco is so emotional about these, it's about everything, he is a liability in her view. And I think we can work a nice relationship off of that, and that works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt I'm very subtle about it, so
okay, that's great. That sounds great to me, if that's okay with you. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's move then to some secretly from the horror. Some of you folks got some stress. Some of you are actually not too bad off. Let's start with the person with the highest. That would be Purity. Purity, do you have a secretly from the horror scene in mind?
Yeah, I'm looking at the options. I think let's see. What I need to do, could it be as the same person from last time, or does it need to be a new person, or
Yeah, anybody you want.
Okay.
I think some of them require it to be the person that you have the most or least feelings for, but
Okay.
Beyond that, you can pick who you choose.
See. I think. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go to Dom, because, Purity probably thinks that was a really big deal to confront that evil power, and if nothing else, like, say, okay, whether or not you believe, you should probably believe, but whether or not you believe, like, that took a lot of guts to stand up to that. Like, go you, you're awesome, even though I don't want to admit it. Is that one of the options, or should this be more of a memory thing, recollection?
And anything that you can fit into those 5 categories.
Yeah. So, like, your recollection of
reassurance and hero worship is not on the list.
No. Well, the recollection of any other event you share is the last option, right?
Reveal something. You could reveal some of your history together. You could turn that to behaving badly if you want to make a move on Dom for meaningless sex. You could turn it more aggressive, more abusive somehow. It says if you verbally or physically abuse someone or chat them up in the hope of meaningless sex, you could trigger that one. I think what you've shown so far doesn't quite trigger any of these, but you go in any direction.
What about was this, I think, recollection the first time we encountered the supernatural together? Could that use our time in the bottom of the church, or do we want to go further back?
Maybe create something new, something we haven't seen.
That sounds good.
Because you guys do definitely have some history before the start of our adventure.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want me to frame it, or do you want me to roll first and then frame it, or
go ahead and frame something, then we'll roll.
So, like, let's say that we were in the visiting like an old Mayan civilization, and we came across zombies, uh, that were clearly just reanimated corpses with this sort of weird virus or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that like sort of zombie expedition as my way into this.
Okay.
Where okay.
Okay. Let's go ahead and reduce your stress by 1,
Okay.
and then roll a single 6-sided die.
Sure. Right, stress die. Let's go. I rolled a 1.
Okay. So, say why you feel bad about the event you're remembering.
Uh-huh.
You cannot use your expertise until your stress goes up again. So tell us how you feel bad about it, and then before we forget, if you go to your character, there's where it says on line 7, where it says expertise available. Click
There
that
is an
over to
option. There is an
cannot be
option.
used.
There is an option to involve your anchor and avoid.
Oh,
that.
is it?
There's an or.
Oh, I think I'm going to do that because this is the second to last session together. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and put my brother in more danger.
Okay.
Where is the anchor?
So
there it is. So missing.
Tell first of all, yeah, we're going to put him to missing, but first of all, tell us how your brother was involved in this recollection.
Actually, I think that's great. I think he was actually in this, and maybe he was the one that alerted me or us to this event that was happening while he was, still kind of on the run from the cult that I was in, and he was on the ground when this zombie thing happened, and I think it was just maybe. I think it's totally up to Alan here. Maybe there was something about my brother and Dom that clicked too. I mean, it doesn't have to be deeper, but maybe they had some chemistry over something or whatever to create a little bit of a connection there. But what I felt bad about was probably that this is the last time I saw him face to face, and I probably said some things I regretted. Because I probably felt jealous of his relationship with Dom, and I took that out on him, and so I was a little bit mean to him, and then after he left, I haven't been able to really resolve that yet. Does that work?
Sure. And I think this might tell me if this doesn't work for you guys, but I imagine. In a you don't sense it, but the camera senses it in a slightly strange voice. Dom says, "Oh, where is Jacques now these days?" And you don't know exactly, but maybe you say, "Oh, he's near Odessa or wherever."
I can just say, yeah, I got a postcard from him when he was passing.
And then we see Dom instinctively knowing this number for a text, sending a text out to someone saying, "You can find Jacques in blah blah blah." So that'll explain the missing part.
Cool.
He may just have gone fishing for the long weekend, though.
It's no big deal. Okay, let's move. Let's see. Anyone else want to do a secretly from the horde? Anyone have an idea?
I definitely want to rip the shit out of Purity for just because he's going to come and start proselytizing, okay? And I'm going to turn on Purity and, really, pin him back on the wall and say, will you stop all this crap? Look, Electra's a scientist. She has rational solutions to stuff. And you keep spouting this spiritual shit. Jesus Christ, Purity.
I have a response to that. I love it.
Let's roll and then save that, and let's see how the die works. And
That's
save
fantastic.
that coming out.
I will reduce my stress by 1 and roll the stress dice.
Ooh.
All right,
my.
So
okay.
Reducing an extra 1.
4+ and they are an operator. They take it really badly. Agree with them why they are so hurt by what has happened. They roll for stress. And on a 6, it was really worth it. I reduced stress by another 1.
Yeah. So
This is
David,
such a nasty game.
go ahead and roll your stress, and then let's hear what you say in response.
Who made this game?
Mm,
Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm rolling my stress die.
yeah.
All right. I got a 2.
2. All right. I think that's not higher than what you have now, right?
No, I have a
so
3.
it doesn't go up. You still feel hurt, but it doesn't cause you more stress. So go ahead and show us how it hurts you and what you do in response.
Yeah, so I've I
It's just
feel
to be
like-
clear, it's perfectly appropriate for you to trigger one of those moves back at me.
Oh, okay. Well, here's what I think Purity would do. Is like, okay, fine. Reason? Sure. I pull up my like smartphone and play one of those anti-worship videos in front of you. Like, here's the proof, right? And I don't know if this would trigger anything with Faraday in your head or not.
Yeah, I think you want to have this be behaving badly.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's
let's roll that, and then we'll see.
Behaving much more badly than you thought.
Right. Reduce your stress by 1.
No
and
one
then
ever,
roll a single die.
no one ever got hurt from watching a video, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just rolling the stress die.
Reduce your stress by 1.
Okay,
And then you roll any die.
Okay, I will roll my green die. I got a 6.
Oh, all right. So they have to, let's see, they take it really bad. They agree with him how and what hurts. They roll for stress. So now Dom's gonna have to roll for stress. But before we forget, you also, because you got a 6, it really, you feel cleansed. You feel really empowered by this action in a spiritual way. So I think reduce your stress another 1.
Who does?
You
do.
So I feel vindicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like
because I think we see. I just can't take this anymore, and she leaves the building.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I think for like a short distance, like I'm pursuing you, almost like someone with a crucifix after a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you can no longer doubt the truth. You know, I yell into the corridor.
Now we're in the self-righteous realm. It's
Yes,
so
exactly.
vindicated. Now it's very self-righteous.
And probably there's some like people in the office looking around like, that's Purity.
All right, Dom.
I'll roll for stress.
Yeah.
So guess what? A 4 is bigger than 1. Stress goes up by 1. But,
All right.
but for Dom, she doesn't quite understand why it's had this effect on her.
No. But you feel a brooding hatred for Purity. It's taken on another level. It's gone from being just like frustration with their ridiculousness to now it's just a real hatred.
This is
it's an emotional.
Dom is
hot.
gonna like eat my lunch in the fridge now or something cool.
Right.
And that's me done.
Does anyone else want to do any stress relief? I think everyone's at 2 or 1.
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good too. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move now. First of all, I don't think anyone used their specialism power, so you don't need to unclick that box. But go ahead and clear your load back to light. Take off any equipment that you've already used last operation. Click back to light load. Okay, perfect. Let's move now to Operation 3. If we click to Operation 3, we first need to talk about leads and where they might be leading you. So
the only thing I typed in there was I wondered during his monologue where I was trying to occupy him, Faraday dropped some hints about because he's my recollection is he said I could meet the master or meet somebody.
yes.
So I'm just wondering if he dropped any hints about time and or place.
I think so. I think we'll let you guys define it, but yeah, we'll say that indeed it sends you somewhere. Similarly, Marco, you realize that the the digitalized information that the app was pulling from its users was being sent somewhere, and that somewhere could be the same place that Faraday mentioned. So I think those are both strong leads. Anyone else have any leads that we've picked up that you might want to follow up on? No?
I'm kind of digging the idea of meeting the master a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's our last episode.
It feels
Yeah,
like the
me
right
too.
thing to do for the
Yeah, that'd be
last.
great.
Confronting Azrael in some way.
Mhm.
And I kind of like that provides a little bit of cover for Dom in the sense of like she's acting like she kind of is. She was pretending to be turned to them, but that might also explain. You know, it confuses it even more about her possession, right? It
Exactly. In the TV show, there are those points where Dom is saying, "Yeah, look, of course we have to go there."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dom seems to have like an unerring arrow pointed directly in that direction. Okay, great. Let's move into our operational questions then. So what we're going to do, this is mostly for Daniel, we've done it a couple times, but what we're going to do for Operation 3 now is we're going to define some aspects. We're going to give a framework of our operation through 4 different questions. Let's start. I think Alan said he was going to give up his question to Daniel, so we'll let Daniel do 2 of them. But let's start with Joe. Joe, who or what is the focus of our operation? I think we might have just defined this, but
yeah, I think the focus is uncovering who the master is, I guess.
sure. So the greater demon Azrael is the focus of our operation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feels like something that we can. That feels like something that we could be scared shitless by. So
yeah. And sacrifice to.
Okay. And the next question, let's go to David. David, where is the focus of the operation? And this one is where you can go to the table, you can roll, or you can just pick, or you can just create something off the top of your head. It's fine. It's the tab called Operation Tables. And in about the middle of that page, it says, where's the target? Last time Joe rolled and we came up with the tech lab.
Okay, I am definitely rolling.
Okay.
Because.
So you think you have to roll 3 6-siders in a row. I'll let you sort of read the table how you please, and you tell us what you end up with.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 3 risk dice, and that'll be the order.
Okay.
So that'll give us a 3, 4, 3. So which one? So 3 is the first one at the top.
Okay.
And then 3 down, or 3 there, or actually, what's it, 4? 3, 4, 3. All right, so 4. Okay, plains steep. Step.
Which one? Plains.
I think I'm doing this right.
Far away.
Yeah,
step.
That one. Yep.
Step.
So
plains or step? Okay.
What if? Oh gosh, my geography's.
I might just drop in that Stonehenge sits in the middle of Salisbury Plain.
Do we want to keep it UK based, or do we want to go to a third? Because if we go to a third location, we got a new safe house, right?
We do. Whether that takes a bit of time was my only thought.
Oh, that's true. I'm fine with.
I mean, we can say it's weeks later. I mean, it doesn't. It's not like you have to immediately. Well, I think undefined amount of time can be between operations.
So what I was thinking of, because we're dealing with an ancient enemy sort of thing, is to say, what if we went to? I can't remember the country. There's a country that has this eternal burning pit of fire. This big hole in the ground.
The ancient Persia, there was there's what's that? They worshipped fire.
Country with eternally burning pit.
Yeah.
Google, let's see what we get.
Like some people call it the hold the hell.
Located in the Karakum Desert of central Turkmenistan.
Yeah.
A little over 150 miles from the country's capital, the pit attracts hundreds of tourists each year. Hundreds isn't a big number.
It's the Turkmenistan Gates of Hell.
There we go. Oh, it works for me.
Are
we flying to Turkmenistan?
Yeah, it's the Darvaza gas crater. I'll put this in here. Yeah, so I was thinking
it's much better as the Gates of Hell, the
Yeah.
Turkmenistan Gates of Hell. Let's not complicate it.
yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Gates
put
of
that in
Hell.
there. That sounds great. All righty. Let's move to the next one. So, Daniel, you're going to get the last two questions. These are: what's the threat the operator wants to face during the operation, and what will the threat be doing?
What is the threat that will operation? Okay.
So what you do is you go to.
Is there a
go ahead.
table for that?
Both of those have got drop-down boxes
Right.
on the Operation 3 tab.
So where it says opposition, what is the threat the operators will
Okay.
face? There's a little arrow on the right side.
Yeah. Let's see.
And yeah, okay, good. David, you got Turkmenistan's Gates of Hell.
So I choose one from the drop-down list. Yeah.
Right. I think everyone's kind of calling out Greater Supernatural.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Since
And
we are
then, once
ending
you
this.
establish that, you go down to the next one. It says why. What did they seem to be doing or planning? And you go to, I think it's towards the bottom, demon activity.
Demon
And that-
activity. Yeah.
So you can select from that drop down.
The updated keeper streamlined some of this by having drop-downs driven by drop-downs.
Oh, great. Okay. Can we go with rewarding a mortal with influence?
Sure.
Maybe a important figure.
Some
Getting a
local
lot of-
dictator.
Yeah.
I can think of a mortal that might want influence. Okay.
A couple of them.
Mm-hmm. All right, then taking the bare bones that we have here, think of this as sort of the rough draft of what's the operational objective. And this is for the four of you kind of to decide yourselves. What is your goal here? What we'll do is we'll define it now, come up with something, a working definition. We'll have some investigation, and then we'll come back to it and see if it's changed or if it could be refined into something different. But for now, just kind of like brainstorm, given what we know, what do you think your team's objective is going to be here in the plains of Turkmenistan?
Is close the Gates of Hell too much, or drive Azrael back to hell?
Well, like what if I think we want Azrael on the other side of the gate, right?
And the gate closed.
Yeah. Those are two big lofty goals.
So
Yeah.
trap Azrael in hell,
Yeah.
Sure.
or banish Azrael.
Yeah, this gates to hell has been open since 1971. It's obviously
It's about
something that
time.
needs to be closed. It's been about what,
50 years.
50 years. Yeah, 50 years. Come on.
We do need to be precise because we have to be able to answer yes or no. So if it's banish Azrael and close the gates, we would have to
Okay.
deliver both of those in order to get a yes on the mission. Is it more important Azrael is banished to hell, or that we close the gates, which could leave Azrael trapped on this side, of course? Season 2.
Seems more interesting. Yeah.
Where Azrael
Yeah.
becomes a frenemy and we work with them.
I would vote
Because of
for.
sitcom.
It seems like closing the gate has a more finality relative to
Mhm.
stopping,
In
the
case they
broader
don't
threat.
commission season 2.
Yeah.
I'm fine with whichever.
Okay. So we'll put that in there. We got close the gate to hell. Like I said, I mean, this is sort of like will help guide your investigation, and then we'll come back to it and see if it still fits, or if not, we'll change it. Great. Let's start picturing Turkmenistan. What is the capital of Turkmenistan? I have no idea. Turkmenistan capital. Isfahan? I'm guessing. Capital.
Ashgabat.
Ashgabat. Capital, largest city of the country. It's about 6 million. It's a big city.
Yeah.
One of the most sparsely populated nations in Asia. So it's a very large city, but I'm picturing a wide, bare plains outside of the sprawling city. So let's talk about your safe house. Go across on the character keeper, and it doesn't have to be in Ashgabat, but it could be somewhere closer to. I think we said how far was the gates of hell from the capital? I think I just read
100 clicks,
somewhere.
I think.
100 clicks. Okay.
No, not too far.
So let's start with Joe then. Joe, what is our safe house like? Let's clear out the info we had for our London safe house and take it off the target list. I think to be the way the rules work is when you establish a new safe house, even though literally you're kind of moving somewhere else, I should make you spend an intel point. Does anybody have an intel point they want to burn?
I've got plenty of intel. I'll do that.
And since we're getting late in the game too, so I see quite a few of you guys have some intel you've hoarded. Feel free to burn that as we go through these things to help define things. You might want to save some to help define weaknesses and whatnot of Azrael, but for now, like I said, Joe, what's this place like? Your safe house?
So I guess I have an idea, but I want to, if it's okay, I want to kind of toss it out and get people's opinion. Is given that the place we're going is kind of out in the middle of nowhere, right? There is like an oil and natural gas sort of in Turkmenistan. What are your guys' thoughts about that? There is an abandoned sort of mining, like an oil rig facility somewhere closer to the gates of hell than the
like an abandoned refinery or something.
Or even just whatever, a refinery or something like that fell by the wayside and
it's been
but
abandoned
is somewhat
by
close to the target.
Great, I like it. So go ahead and scribble something about that on there. Purity, who's vulnerable nearby?
I'm gonna say if I remember correctly, I think there are some. There used to be. I don't know if there are some like nomads, people who are like native to the area, who move around and live off the land. So I think that's the obvious one, unless we want to go with something more specific.
How would you feel about leaning into that a little farther with that, which is maybe they're pilgrims, because we had this supernatural tinge to our story. Maybe this place is obviously got invested with a lot of supernatural energy. Whether they're drawn in more the good side of the whole supernatural or the evil side, who knows? But how about that? Pilgrims, nomadic pilgrims, something like that.
No, I think that makes sense. Okay. Some of them are going to be merchants, but pilgrims makes total sense. And there's some holdover from when Russia was in control too, so there might be some like Soviet or Russian type people wandering around too. But the pilgrims is good.
Yeah, I would think there'd be tourists kind of because maybe as well, but that might fit in with the pilgrims too. So.
Yeah, let's change reality and turn tourists into pilgrims.
Yeah.
Maybe in the last decade or so, tourists have stopped coming, or maybe since the since the Berlin Wall dropped, maybe instead of tourism, it's become this sort of religious site for some reason, and the disorganized government of Turkmenistan hasn't really followed up on it. Okay, and next up, Daniel, Elettra, tell us what single thing about this place reassures you the most that it's safe.
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know if this counts as safe, really, but maybe this place is abandoned because there was some kind of accident there, and maybe there is a threat of a gas leak that could, make it worse or bring out the explosion, and that being the reason that no one is going there, because everyone is trying to steer away from it. Yeah.
Right. Perfect. I love it.
One tourist firm continues to send tourists there.
It's
Right.
safe because it's dangerous.
Exactly. So the only people that dare breaking through the chain link fence and coming here are these pilgrims.
Well, that's like in Chernobyl. There are people who go there illegally to see it.
Right. Perfectly. Perfect. That's even better than what I was saying. Love it. Okay, and then Alan, Dominique, why isn't this place ideal?
Because it's basically, we're sat on a fissured gas reservoir that could blow up at any time.
Sure. And you're far, far away from any sort of help. All right, I love it. And Daniel, there won't be any dice rolling or anything here, but let's give it to you. How did you guys get here? How did you manage to go from London to Turkmenistan? And if you define a vehicle, don't worry about you can redefine a new vehicle once we actually enter the operation. But what is your idea about how your team got from London to Turkmenistan?
I'm not sure, but I don't know how this is impact of this, but maybe with a train, maybe we just went there with the regular way to go there with some kind of a trans-Asian train.
Mm-hmm. I see a lot of false passports and night trains, going through cities, and then open planes and miles and miles and day after day of riding on a train. Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. The next thing is investigation. I'm looking at the clock. I'm thinking this might be a good time to stop for today. We got a few minutes, but instead of pushing our way into investigation and getting partly started, I think let's stop here. So we're going to pick up, you're in Turkmenistan. You're going to have an opportunity to investigate before we jump into the final operation next time. Before we do that though, is there any other detail about this that we should add after we've talked about it a little bit here, about the site, about the operation, that we want to add before we leave for today? No? Okay. Let's go around quickly and do some stars and wishes then.
Go ahead. No, I'll put it in wishes.
Okay. Let us start with that then. Go ahead, Alan. What do you got?
Well, stars first. Daniel, thank you for your patience, because coming in mid-op like that is tricky. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. I loved that we got to see Peter Faraday turn nasty. I loved what you did with the possession and the cost. To me, that was all good. Wishes. I would like us to kind of give Daniel the steering wheel next time, so that he can push this where he wants it to go, that in a way that will give us a chance to see Elettra at her best. That's my wish. and confront a demon, which could all be CGI, of course.
Yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying there. And just let me jump in and say, Daniel, when we get around to you, if you have any ideas of how you're going to use your skills to take a starring role in our final operation, I think that would help my mind start to spin it around in the week to come. So start thinking about that. We'll come to you last. Let's go to Joe. Joe, tell us, do you have any stars or wishes?
Yeah, I really am digging the possession thing, and I really like the where this could go, and I'm envisioning critical final confrontation scenes that we think where all of a sudden she turns the gun to that scene where to us or something like that or like that. And for a wishes thing, I do think I also agree with giving Electra some. I think something that I'd really would be fun to see that we haven't really had, that in my mind is a critical component of the spy thriller, is something with the vehicles, like where whether it's a chase, whether it's I don't know what it is, but some opportunity for Electra to really shine with that piece of things would be kind of fun too, and so even if it's just driving a Land Rover through the side of a building or something would be would be awesome. So,
or inside a crater of burning gas.
Yeah, the bomb-laden Land Rover into to close the gates.
Yeah, I think this is true of most all games. It's hard. You really have to work to have a chase work. You have to have the means, you have to have the environment just right, and you have to have a reason for it, and a purpose or a goal for it. Otherwise it's kind of bland. So that's why I wanted to put that in Daniel's mind.
Yeah, maybe it's not so much a chase, but at least an opportunity to utilize some cool vehicles to do some stuff.
I totally want to see it. It's just that it takes a little bit of, you have to set it up just right, But anyways, let's go to David. Do you have any feedback for us?
I feel like the group has nailed what I was thinking. I really want to see Electra really shine, and maybe if there's opportunities for us to just kind of develop our relationship with that character a little bit more. But yeah, I think I think we kind of fumbled on that one, sort of like what to do now that they're onto us, but we got back together on that. But I've enjoyed seeing Marco showcase the talents. I've enjoyed seeing Dom kind of come under the pressure of Faraday and this whole thing. So I'm really enjoying where this story is going. I'm looking forward to our last session together.
All right,
thank you, Jason, for running this.
Sure, it's fun. And Daniel.
Thank you for your wishes to have Electra shine. Stars to everyone. I think I've come. It's sometimes it's hard to come inside to join an ongoing game, but what I liked is that really the first thing, before I realized what's going on in terms of operation and what you're investigating, your characters were the first thing that really got me. Oh, these are cool, and that was really cool, because I think this is the crucial part of the any kind of game, to have good characters and have them interact in an interesting ways. And also I think the operation was really cool. It was really, there were some tough choices and stuff, and I like that too. And you've already said everything else, but I really like my star goes to the choice for the final the location for the final operation. I think this is really the gates of hell. That's really cool. And my wish is also would be to have some kind of a car chase, vehicle chase. This is really cool, but I really am maybe not too comfortable with taking the front seat in the operation. So I just I prefer to have everyone assisting each other, and that would be the most cool way to go about. I don't know if I can answer your question, Jason, about what my thoughts are about the operation, but I think this is why I chose that. How does it say in the operation? To have rewarding a mortal with influence. I think the interesting part would be to have some kind of a stake in a mortal world, if you know what I mean. Apart from just having fight a monster or everything, so that would be maybe a little bit more complex, and this is maybe where my investigation will go. My part of the investigation is, Electra would probably want to know how this is done. How does a demon reward a mortal with power?
Mm-hmm.
I think you just asked Dom.
Okay.
No, I like.
Yeah.
I really like where
Depends
you're going
which
with that,
mortal you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, the more data, the better the knowledge. So yeah, that's it. Okay.
Great.
Because I hadn't thought about that until you said it, Daniel. But this idea, in my mind's eye, there's some powerful politician there.
Yeah, that's what I meant too.
Yeah, but Dom might be the mortal that's going to be rewarded.
Yeah,
we won't know until we play.
Yeah, all good stuff. So I will go back and watch this, and scribble down lots of notes. I invite you guys, use the Slack if you have cool ideas that come up over the week to come. You want to throw that out there. And remember, you're going to use your investigation to help define this stuff. You can burn that intel to, define even more stuff. You can use it to, like, for what we were saying about, about Daniel, you look through the obstacles and see if there's an obstacle that you think Daniel would look really cool. Even if you don't want to be the star, if you want to have your cool moments and make sure, get those down, you can burn a point of intel and you can use that to define one of our obstacles, whatever it might be. Before I forget, it's kind of out of order, but it comes to mind before I forget. Is it okay if we make this video public? Is everyone thumbs up? Great. Stars, I like that everyone's open to the temptation and the corruption part of the demonic conspiracy. Lots of cool ideas, everybody building off of each other's ideas today to make the operation as interesting and cool as possible. I mean, it's already, like I said before, my wish was that I would have been able to figure out a way to get Electra more into it. I tried by moving you from the nearby building to the top of the building, but then, maybe we should have shoved you right into Spirit Tech somehow instead. But I hope you had fun regardless. Let's see, there's something else I wrote down. I guess that's not it. I'm going to go back, if anybody wants to Google any pictures of Turkmenistan and the gates of hell, throw those into our character keeper under people, places, and things. I want to learn a lot more about it. I think the way that I've ended up running this actually works well for me. Going cold into an operation at this moment, I would probably fumble a lot, but having a week in between to think and figure out some possible roads to take, into an operation will be useful for me. So I think, on the question I mentioned last time, how's our timing? I think we're pretty good. I think we'll be able to do the investigation, the operation in our last session. So I think I'll hopefully, fingers crossed, reach my goal of finishing 3 operations in our 4 sessions. Only other thing is, I see Alan, you put down the idea about the line from the safe house to the crater. If you could copy that into Slack, because I'm going to lose all of that's on here as soon as I end the broadcast. But I like that idea, but I will forget it. So maybe copy and paste that into somewhere where we'll be able to see it.
I was just thinking that there's the obvious way to go to the but it turns out we get there and actually we need to go back there in a hurry. And
Hmm.
that's when their helicopters come over the, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
I will.
Sure.
I'll copy it now.
Yep. Okay, great. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I will see you next Sunday for the finale. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
Take
a
care.
lot.
Thanks, guys. See you
Bye,
next time.
everyone.